Alright, I wanted to make a quick video on this because I've noticed something in one of the clips that I haven't seen anyone talk about, and I think it's an important piece that's left out. It's in one of the most infamous clips. I'm sure by now most of you have seen this clip go viral, and people have their opinions on it, but the most suspicious clip out of all of them is definitely the rock clip. And that's the clip right here at 13 seconds. For those of you who don't know, in this clip, Riley's seen flicking over and pre-firing a rock and then adjusts their aim and then it's perfect head level to another enemy. And then she kills them, kills others. And that is the most suspicious clip. Now, let's break it down. From the beginning, we can see Riley runs up on an enemy, kills him, and you can see at the bottom left, there is an enemy pinged on the map. There's a red marker. So a lot of people are saying, okay, well, Riley just flicked off the map intel. And she flicked over, overshot it, readjusted towards the location of the ping. Some people argue that the first flick can't be a lock-on because there's no one behind where she's looking. And if you look at the mini-map, you can see she's not aiming towards the red marker. So let's look a little closer at that. If you look at this clip provided by Enders, Enders has access to the raw file, so his quality is better than the Twitter quality. If you look at this, we can identify there are 3 enemies clustered together, and they're all at the top right as C. And we can see, let me go back some to show you. We got enemy 1, enemy 2, and enemy 3 up in this corner. Now, enemy 3 is the one that's being marked on the map. Enemy 1 got marked by a squad mate, and you can just visually see 3. So you can see all the enemies are in this top right corner of C, right? So what if I told you there's a 4th enemy? And if you actually look right here, it's kind of hard to see, but if you look at the double kill pop-up, there's a 4th enemy recently down/killed on the ground. And you can actually see their body moving, which I assume is the downed animation. You can see right here, his legs are moving, his whole body moves. And then he's moving again here, I think. Yeah, he moves right there again. That's clearly an enemy because they're wearing the NATO camo, which is the enemy team, and you don't see any friendly icons above it. This squad mate, you can see them through the wall right here, so it's not the squad mate. That is a 4th enemy recently killed right here. So now I can give you a better visualization of this using Ender's other video. We go to 1924.
As you can see,
we can see more clearly this enemy. You can see there is someone there moving. So they were recently down. So we can get an approximate location of this enemy using Riley's as a reference. So Riley's going to get really close to this enemy. We can see they're in the bottom left corner. And we can use Riley's location on the map to get an approximation of this enemy being somewhere lower central C. Okay. And I took some screenshots of this, and you can see the enemy's still here, bottom left corner. I circled, this is an approximation of where they're at on the map related to Riley. And if you compare that to, here's a screenshot of this first flick pre-fire into the seemingly nothing, you can see a straight line goes towards the bottom middle of C. And if you look at the approximate location of this 4th guy, that lines up near perfectly to where Riley first pre-fired towards. So this opens the question, did Riley actually cheat? We don't know when this guy died. We don't know when he died. We know that he most likely had to have died from squad mate 1 or 4 because they seem to have some line of sight. Most likely squad mate 1. Squad mate 1 is actively pushing up. But we don't have the kill cam knowledge of when they died because Riley modified their HUD to not display it. And how do I know that? Because if you watch this whole clip, the full clip, you never see anyone else's kills in the kill feed. You only see Riley's. You can even see a teammate go down here and that information is not displayed in the kill feed. So since we don't have kill feed information, we don't know when that enemy actually, fourth enemy died. And what does that mean? It means that guy could have already been down for a while. You can be down for a long time in Battlefield 6. However, if we go back to Ender's clip and we go to 2131, we can actually see the pre-footage before the flick occurred. And if you look at the minimap, you can see no enemies are on C at the current moment. We can see that there's all the friendlies have some line of sight on C. We see squad mate 1 pushing with Riley at the current moment. And we can see an enemy goes on C. And squad mate 1 is still behind Riley. And here, Riley looks at this lane. We don't see any dead enemy at the current moment. And this is around the location of the fourth guy. And if we play further, we can't see squad mate 1, so we don't know what they're doing. So right here, we don't know what squad mate 1 is fully doing, but we know there's a moment of pause, or presumably a moment of pause, and this could have been ample time for squad mate 1 to have killed this fourth guy, causing that weird lock on and then immediately lock off look to the flick. So now that the beta is finally out again, I can take a look at this myself, and as we can see, this is where Riley ran up to. Here's the lane she looked at. She ran up this rock, killed this guy here, and then pre-fired this rock. Now if we look, we can try to line up our crosshairs to where she pre-fired to, and it was around right here. And if we walk in a straight line, look at where it ends up. Around right here. And if we look at where the guy, oh shit. If we look at where the guy died, he's laying on the ground around right here. We can see right here, the squad mate 1 could easily have had visual on enemy 4. Now I know the building is destroyed right now, but either way, squad mate 1 could have easily been right here. It looks like they were around somewhere here, possibly. Maybe even down here. It looks like they were more closer up here. And they could easily have killed enemy 4. Even if they were down here, they could have killed enemy 4. Again, to reiterate this, here is where Riley was aiming, approximately around here. And if we go in that straight line, where do we end up? We end up right here. And if you look, this is around the area that enemy 4 died. So I don't know what else to tell you, okay? Maybe I'm just too bad at the game to understand this high-level gameplay being shown. Maybe I should steal my roommate's Adderall, grind Kovacs for 12 hours a day, and then maybe I could just possibly understand this high-level gameplay going on right here. I'd give it a 1% chance that this is just high-level gameplay that I'm too bad to understand, and that Riley just pre-fired off of the map intel just so happened to land perfectly where one person was behind a wall, and then land perfectly to where another person was behind a wall. But maybe I'm just too bad at the game. Maybe I'm just too bad at games in general.